There's this big fight coming up. Certain senators are getting in line that they're going to fight against Donald Trump and his reduction in foreign aid. Our tax dollars are going to go to these foreign countries. And why? That's not anywhere in the Constitution whatsoever. But yet these guys are going to stand up and fight against reducing the amount of American tax dollars that are going to go overseas.
Well, let's kind of just what you said, Joe, let's put some context onto this, okay? Based on what Trump said last night, Joe's made a very valid point here. Congress has done nothing in terms of helping Donald Trump accomplish what he promised the American people he was going to do. And we said that. We knew that. This is no big surprise to us here at the Conservative Syndicate. We told you we don't expect Congress to really cooperate with Trump outside of whatever they can do that will make them look like they're governing come re-election time. Okay? They're not really going to do anything there unless they're absolutely forced. However Trump can use, I think Trump is going to be one of the most effective presidents with a bully pulpit, I think. But
he's going to have to be. Otherwise, he won't get anything done.
Yeah, but even that is going to be a major struggle because these guys are hunkering down. Believe it or not, you think the Democrats are regrouping? I can tell you, guarantee you, the Republican establishment is regrouping. They're trying to figure out how can we do this and not leave any fingerprints. Okay, I guarantee you that's what's going on. But listen, I just want to recap. I want to take what Joe just said here, and I want to recap from Donald Trump's speech last night, what he has done since he's come in office. And this will just accentuate and highlight what Joe is just saying. Congress has done nothing to help him, including allowing the Democrats to drag their knuckles on the confirmations. Okay, they don't have, this could have taken place the way it's taken place in every other presidency, with the majority in the Republican House and the Senate. This could have been a slam dunk deal. They just pull go nuclear, and everything could have happened, just like Harry Reid did with Barack Obama. But I'm going to read you the list here, okay? Let's spend some time on it. It's a good point. What Donald Trump has done, what his administration has done since he's come in office, and you'll note that none of this has anything to do with anything that Congress has done, either in the House or the Senate. He says, since my election, Ford, Fiat, Chrysler, General Motors, Sprint, SoftBank, Lockheed, Intel, Walmart, and many others have announced that they will invest billions of dollars in the United States and will create tens of thousands of new American jobs. How did that happen? Trump called them into a room, and he talked to them, and they determined how they were going to do this. All right? Next, the stock market has gained almost $3 trillion in value since the election November 8th, a record. We've saved taxpayers hundreds of millions of dollars by bringing down the price of the fantastic new F-35 jet fighter. Who did that? Donald Trump did it. He's the one that went to Boeing and the builders of this F-35 and said, either cut the price or we don't buy it. He didn't go to Congress. Congress didn't go to him. He took it upon himself to sit down and say, I'm not going to sign anything unless you guys can bring the price down. All right? He says we're going to save billions of dollars more in contracts. Why? Not because of what Congress is doing, because he has sat down with these people and said, this is the way it's going to be, or you're not going to get my signature on the check. We've placed a hiring freeze on non-military and non-essential federal workers. I told you yesterday, 600 positions in the State Department he's doing away with. We don't need them. We're not hiring anybody. All right? Did Congress do that? They didn't have anything to do with that. He's used his executive branch to do what? What the executive branch is supposed to do. We've begun to drain the swamp of government corruption by imposing a 5-year ban on lobbying by executive branch officials and a lifetime ban on becoming lobbyists for a foreign government. Do you think for 1 minute?
Boo, hiss. I'm just imitating the Democrats from last night.
But do you think for 1 minute that Congress would go along with that?
Oh, heck no.
Hell, most of these people, that's what they do after they get out of Congress. They're not going to, you're taking away my job, dude. That's my career. That's my real career as a lobbyist. Okay, he goes, we have undertaken a historic effort to massively reduce job-crushing regulations. Has Congress had anything to do with that? No. He's gone in, told his person from the EPA, start looking at where you can cut. I want $8 billion cut out of this budget. Figure out how to do it. Did he ask Congress? Did Congress ask him? No. He's creating a deregulation task force. Is Congress doing that? No. Okay, 2 old regulations for every new one. 2 out, 1 in. You want 1 in? Take 2 out. You think Congress likes that? No. They've got nothing to bid. They may not even have to show up. They can spend all their days back home fighting, outrageous town hall meetings. He goes on, we've cleared the way for construction of the Keystone and Dakota Access pipelines. Did Congress do that? No, he just undid Obama's executive order. Said, no, throw it away. Congress hasn't helped him at all. We withdrew from the Trans-Pacific Partnership. Did Congress have anything to do with that? Nothing. Trump said, nope, not going to sign it, not going to do it. End of story, end of debate. And then he says, with the help of Prime Minister Justin Trudeau, we formed, meaning him and Justin Trudeau, formed a council with our neighbors in Canada to help ensure that women entrepreneurs have access to networks, markets, and capital they need to start a business and live out their financial dreams. I bet you Ivanka had her hands on that. But here's the point. Did Congress do that? Did he send anything to Congress? No. I don't, who knows? Maybe we really don't need Congress if we have the right person pushing the buttons. I'm just floating that out there, guys. Let's not go there because we had the wrong guy doing the same sort of stuff. My point being though, is that if this is all stuff that perhaps Congress should be doing or should have done and could have done up until this point. Starting January 1st when the new Congress kicked in, right? Is it January 1st or is it 17th or what?
Was in that. I mean, they take more time off than anybody. Just to be in Congress, just to be a vacation. I mean, they're in at work less time than doctors. Yeah, but the new Congress starts the same day that the president is inaugurated. It was the beginning of the year because that's when they started doing their thing. So it was basically... Well, they've had more than 40-plus days to do something. Donald Trump has done it, and they haven't. That's the point. We got to go to a break here. We're at the top of the hour here. Edwards No Book, Pays the Bills. We'll be right back. Stay with us right here at the Conservative Syndicate. Don't go away.
The never-ending campaign against President Trump. Hello, I'm Ron Edwards. The election of Donald Trump for President of the United States represents the desire of many Americans to see our republic rescued from utter oblivion. Of course, we the people who desire America to be great again are not so naive to think that Trump alone can improve the fortunes of the United States. However, we do know that the president is the commander-in-chief who has certain powers and responsibilities which are enumerated in the U.S. Constitution. The president is supposed to do all he can to protect the United States of America. Also, the last time I checked, when it comes to the issue of defending our country, it would not hurt if Congress and the judicial branch would agree. But unfortunately, we live at a time when a large segment of government and society are positioned to expend all of their energies to stop the administration of Donald J. Trump. Of course, on the surface, it seems like it's a political battle, but also it is spiritual in nature. You see, you have the progressive Democrats at war against Christian influences that are a major part of the foundation of what has been great about our republic. I'm Ron Edwards.
Blowing away the myths and revealing the truth. You can continue to blow away the myths with Ron Edwards on Facebook, Twitter, and theronedwards.com.
You can catch all our archives at theconservativesyndicate.net. The Conservative Syndicate. Real conservative talk from real conservatives.
Prices are for base buildings only. May not be available in some areas. Attention business owners, do you want a stimulus package that really works? Before you spend thousands of dollars more than you should on your next building project, listen to this. General Steel has a stimulus package designed to help you save as much as half the cost of conventional construction on your next building. As much as half. That's right. General Steel can save you thousands of dollars with a pre-engineered steel building designed for your business or church. How about a 50 by 100 foot building for under $30,000? So don't pay thousands more than you should without calling General Steel first and save as much as half the cost and time of conventional construction. With the projected demand for steel in Japan and China, prices may be skyrocketing.
877-927-3360. 877-927-3360. 877-927-3360. Term life insurance. It can be a powerful way to protect your assets and your family. You work hard to earn and save your money to build a nest egg for the future. Don't let it get wiped out because you didn't plan ahead. Take the time now and make a small investment in $500,000 or more in quality term life insurance. Call the Term Lifeline and let us shop the best companies to give you the lowest rates. We specialize in policies of $500,000 and above. Ask about some of our 10 and 20-year fixed rate plans with guaranteed rates. Call the Term Lifeline right now for your free insurance quote. 800-870-3609. 800-870-3609. You owe it to yourself to protect your family and your assets. Make term life insurance part of that plan. Call the Term Lifeline right now. 800-870-3609. 800-870-3609.
Hey folks, if you're like me, you don't place a whole lot of trust in today's media for the real truth and facts regarding the volatile world of finance and politics. When I want the real scoop on money, I go to the most trusted source I know, my good friend and colleague, Bob Cardoso. Bob is a noted expert with a PhD in international finance who airs his nationally known, globally syndicated show, Robert Cardoso Live Daily, Monday through Friday, 3 to 5 p.m. Pacific time. With Bob, you get the right information at the right time from someone who knows his business and can help you make the right decisions concerning yours. Again, Bob airs daily, Monday through Friday, 3 to 5 p.m. Pacific time. Visit his website at robertcardosolive.com for information regarding stations and topics. That's robertcardosolive.com. Check Bob out. You'll be glad you did.
Read something recently worth thinking about. It's the soldier, not the campus organizer, who's given us freedom to demonstrate. It's the soldier, not the reporter, who's given us freedom of the press. It's the soldier, not the poet, who's given us freedom of speech. It's the soldier who serves under the flag, who defends the protesters' right to burn the flag. Isn't it time now to demonstrate that we support our troops? Were it not for the brave, there'd be no land of the free.
Fred Thompson's message was brought to you by citizensunited.org.
You can catch all our archives at theconservativesyndicate.net. The Conservative Syndicate. Real conservative talk from real conservatives.
I think the big problem this country has is being politically correct. I've been challenged by so many people, and I don't frankly have time for total political correctness. And to be honest with you, this country doesn't have time either.
Yes, political correctness is out. American exceptionalism is back, ready to re-empower our republic as one nation under God by restoring our unalienable rights of life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. This is the Conservative Syndicate, real conservative talk from real conservatives, with your host, John Matthews.
The latter-day prophet
staying against the hypocrisies of our time.
And Joe Hakos.
You want answers. I want the truth. You can't handle the truth.
The Conservative Syndicate is comprised of some of the most informed pundits and activists available today. Together we seek to tear down the imaginary wall of separation between church and state through education, information, and engagement on the religion of politics and the politics of religion. And now, your hosts of the nationally acclaimed, globally syndicated Conservative Syndicate, John Matthews and Joe Hakos.
All right, hey, we're back. Hour two right here at the Conservative Syndicate, Real Conservative Talk from Real Conservatives. Visit our website, theconservativesyndicate.net, when you get a chance and pick up everything you want to know about this show. You can find everything you want to know about us, theconservativesyndicate.net. Okay, I just highlighted a bunch of things that Trump talked about last night in his speech, and things he's done without Congress. And Joe, because Joe had brought up the point that really we have a Congress that's still a do-nothing Congress. They told us they needed a president. They got the president. They're still doing nothing. And so I highlighted some of the things that Donald Trump has done without the assistance of Congress at all. And Joe's got some stuff he wants to feed back on it. You got the con, Joe.
All right, cool. Yeah. So in the same vein, just a short period after John's, he's going through the little list that Trump was going to. The same part of the speech. Trump goes, at the same time, my administration has answered the pleas of the American people for immigration enforcement and border security. By finally enforcing our immigration laws, we will raise wages, help the unemployed, save billions of dollars, and make our communities safer for everyone. We want all Americans to succeed, but that can't happen in the environment of lawless chaos. We must restore integrity and the rule of law to our borders. And what did I hear from those wearing white curtains? Boos and hisses and audible groans. How can you be against enforcing our laws? How can you be against saving billions of dollars and making our communities safer? How can you be against raising wages and helping unemployed people? How can you be that way, Democrat? How can you be that way? I get the Republicans not doing anything, but you guys don't even want to help Americans.
Well, yeah, Trump asked that. Wasn't that one of the questions? He asked that last night.
Yeah, he did ask that. He said, what are you going to tell somebody that loses their job or loses a loved one because you wanted to take care of some illegal immigrant?
Yeah, I'm looking at here. He says here, let's see here. Yeah, well, the question was along the line is, how can you justify, or how do you explain to the American people that you're not willing to do what it takes to protect them? That was the context of it. I just had the thing in front of me here. When the comment that he made, because it was a great question. Let's see here. Oh, here it is. To any in Congress who do not believe we should enforce our laws, I would ask you this question. What would you say to the American family that loses their jobs, their income, or a loved one because America refused to uphold its laws and defend its borders? Our obligation is to serve, protect, and defend the citizens of the United States. Very logical question. How can the Democrats continue to justify letting people into the country under the banner of refugees and asylum, political asylum, and everything else, and not be concerned about who is coming in with them and what that can do? I mean, doesn't not 9/11, but Trump outlined, I think he used a very good phrase. I remember it. He says from San Bernardino to Orlando, Florida. We've had these terrorist attacks, all coming from people who got into our country because they weren't vetted. And they were able to carry out these events. They were able to carry out death and destruction. I don't know. I mean, even as a Democrat, you should have some logical thinking there. Don't you want to protect the people that are voting for you? Let's think about it. The Orlando thing. Okay, homosexual nightclub. Were Democrats not incensed that, how many people died in that thing? 45?
Way too many, to be honest with you.
Yeah, with some two numbers on my head, 45 and 90. I'm not sure which one it was. But the point being is, those are Democrat voters, for crying out loud. Don't you want to save your own people?
Those are Americans, for crying out loud.
Yeah, well, yeah, but I mean, let's bring it down to their level of thinking. Let's bring it down to the level of the average congressman or congresswoman. I want to protect my job. Okay? The easiest job in the world. Show up to work 1/3 of the year and get paid an enormous amount of money for it. And you don't want to protect those people because you're more worried about letting other people in? It defies all logic. Hey, we're in our short segment here. We got to go to break. We got our new and latest edition of the Strident Conservative along with a couple of commercials here. We'll be right back. Stay with us.
You're listening to the Strident Conservative. He's always right.
Hello, America. This is David Leach, the Strident Conservative. When it comes to Obamacare, we know that it's been an abysmal failure. Well, except in one area. It has revived the call for a government-run single-payer health care system, which was the stated goal from the very beginning of Obamacare. We also know that ever since the passage of the Affordable Care Act, that Republicans have used a promise to repeal it, root and branch, as a means to fill their campaign coffers. If you're a regular reader or listener of the Strident Conservative, you know that we've been covering the Obamacare repeal for quite a while. You've learned how many of the ideas included in Trump's solution to Obamacare are very much like the law that he claims he wants to repeal. Similarity so stark that Trump Care is being called Obamacare 2.0. And you've also learned about the fake repeal plans being offered by the repeal and name-only Republicans. Further evidence of Congress's capitulation regarding repeal was recently revealed by Ken Cuccinelli, the president of the Senate Conservatives Fund, in a letter to Donald Trump where he warned the president to avoid Speaker Paul Ryan's Obamacare replacement plan, a plan that he refers to as Ryan Care. Quote, Paul Ryan is essentially putting in place a new entitlement in place of Obamacare. You can call it a massive expansion of Medicaid, or you can just call it an entirely new entitlement program where they're going to give out money to people not paying taxes, more than we're already doing, and to cover the so-called transition from Obamacare, but it will never go away, end quote. I hope this letter works, but I doubt it. As I stated earlier, Trump Care is Obamacare 2.0. In addition, Trump's first budget proposal indicates that he's not going to touch entitlement spending anytime in the near future, even though it represents 60% of the budget. When you add these two facts together, I think it's more likely than not that Trump will be very open to Ryan Care. If you have a comment on this topic, visit stridentconservative.com.
There is an old saying, children should be seen but not heard. At no time is this more apparent than when politicians speak. The Conservative Syndicate.net, the adult in the room. Hey folks, if you're like me, you don't place a whole lot of trust in today's media for the real truth and facts regarding the volatile world of finance and politics. When I want the real scoop on money, I go to the most trusted source I know, my good friend and colleague, Bob Cardoso. Bob is a noted expert with a PhD in international finance who airs his nationally known, globally syndicated show, Robert Cardoso Live Daily, Monday through Friday, 3 to 5 p.m. Pacific time. With Bob, you get the right information at the right time from someone who knows his business and can help you make the right decisions concerning yours. Again, Bob airs daily, Monday through Friday, 3 to 5 p.m. Pacific time. Visit his website at robertcardosolive.com for information regarding stations and topics. That's robertcardosolive.com. Check Bob out. You'll be glad you did. History affirms a vibrant civil society thrives on freedom of conscience, religion, and choice. Any society absent these qualities stifles individual responsibility and accountability, thus enslaving its people by denying them the potential for goodness, creativity, and altruism. To that extent, oppression, coercion, and totalitarianism are multiplied exponentially. To counter such outcomes, the American Freedom Alliance was formed. The AFA is a nonpartisan, non-aligned movement which promotes, defends, and upholds Western values and ideals. The Alliance strives to build an international coalition of citizens of the West who together promote and protect moral values, democracy, and freedom. To find out more and become part of this valuable asset in the preservation of freedom and all its rewards, contact us at AmericanFreedomAlliance.org. That's AmericanFreedomAlliance.org. Let freedom ring.
I don't give a damn what you think you are entitled to.
Am I not speaking English?
The Conservative Syndicate.net. where we speak only one language, American.
All right. Hey, we are back and ready to go here. Now, if you were just listening to our clip here, David Leach of the Strident Conservative talking about the false repeal of Obamacare, that was one of the areas last night listening to Donald Trump that my radar went up. I just, as I'm listening to him, because, all you have to say to somebody like me and Joe is repeal and replace. And I'm gone. I'm like, no. Repeal. Repeal. All right. The replace thing isn't going to work. It isn't going to work. I don't care how good they think they're going to fix this thing. It's not going to work. The government is running it. That's all you need to know. You don't need to know their details, their proposals, their projected costs, or anything else, because none of it will pan out the way that they say it's going to pan out, because government doesn't do what he says it's going to do. Period.
The government's not there to worry about if it's going to be profitable, run efficiently or anything else. It's not a business. Government is not business, for crying out loud. It never will be business. You can't. Government has, as long as you have a treasury, government has money, and it doesn't care.
Well, whether they talk about lowering the cost of health care or raising the cost of health care or anything in between, providing better services, giving us better providers, anything, understand this, folks, it means using our money. And I don't know about you, but I can do much better, and I'm not great at handling money. My wife will tell you that. My wife handles our finances because I'm a compulsive spender, okay? In that regard, I guess you could call me a Democrat. I see something, I want it, all right?
At least it's your fault. It's your fault. You made the decision.
Yeah.
It's your decision to do what you want. You earned that. It's your liberty. Your blood, sweat, and tears paid for it. You got a right to do whatever you want with it. The government doesn't see it that way. The government thinks your liberty is theirs.
Yeah, exactly. See, so anything they do, even if government was able to design some kind of perfect healthcare system, which is really out there, it still requires using our money. And our money can be better put to use if we have that money and we use it. That's what capitalism is all about. That's what free enterprise is all about. That's what supply and demand is all about. It's about us utilizing our money, not handing it to somebody else to utilize it on our behalf. You got to keep things in perspective here. We've been so lulled into thinking, I'll give you the example here. Here's my example. When you talk to people overseas, as I've mentioned before, I go on cruise every year, and I meet people from all over the world. Last year, we were in the British Isles. And so I'm sitting here talking to these people from England and Australia and Canada, places like this. We get to talking about healthcare. And you have two sides of the coin there. There's some people that think it's great, some people think it's not. But the point being is that they don't have anything to compare it to. They've been lulled into this 60, 70 years ago. England decided it was going to have socialized health care. So if you have nothing to measure it against, how do you know whether it's good or not? Is it good just because you've come to accept it the way it is? See, that's the agenda with Obamacare and the left. We'll get you into the system, and no matter how bad it sucks, sooner or later, you'll just have to accept it. It is the system. And just like everything else, just like Social Security, we can't destroy Social Security. We can't disband it. Why? Because too many people think it's the way. It's the way. Now, those of us have paid into it, and those of us who are receiving it, I'm receiving Social Security right now, started this year. And so you know what? Okay, fine. Leave my Social Security alone. But if there is a better plan that could come up where my grandchildren can take their money and put it into some type of IRA or savings account or whatever it is they want to do with it and create a better retirement for them, why would I not want that? Why do I have to jump into the paradigm thinking of we can't do anything with Social Security? We have to leave it the way it is. Well, it's dying on its own anyway. And just like Obamacare is dying on its own anyway. But the point is, we've been lulled into thinking that Social Security is an essential aspect of retirement. And so therefore, it's a sacred cow. The same thing with Medicare. You can't do away with Medicare. What would all the old people do? What would the low-income people that have had to retire and they're working as Walmart greeters to make ends meet? Okay, so we've been lulled into thinking that that's the best we can do. And that's what they want to do with Obamacare. Now, this whole idea of repealing and replacing, I'm listening to Trump last night, and I'm telling you, I did not feel good after I heard what he had to say about it. Let me share with you what he said, and then I'll get Joe's take on this too, because I know Joe, this is Joe's big thing right now. So he says, I'm calling on Congress to repeal and replace Obamacare with reforms. Since when does the government ever reform anything well? That expand choice, increase access, lower costs, and at the same time provide better health care. I don't know about you. I think I heard that before from somebody.
Yeah.
Barack Obama. In fact, I heard it before that from Hillary Clinton, back when she ran the health care reform when her husband was president. Remember those days? Okay? It was all about expanding choice, increasing access, lowering costs, and providing better health care. Well, that's what Obama told us. It was going to expand our choices. What happened? It limited our choices. You can keep your doctor. You can keep your plan. That didn't happen. We're now limited. We have exchanges now, or we have insurers that are pulling out of states. And so what's happening in some of the counties, I think Trump highlighted it last night, in some of the counties throughout some of the states, they only have one choice now because the other providers have all backed out. That doesn't sound like you're... And so what are you going to do, Mr. Trump? Well, he's saying, let's tear down the borders. Okay, fine. I'm all for that. But if the government is still involved, then the government is still going to be regulating. And if the government's still regulating, they're still going to try to be fixing things. Even if it's already fixed, they're still going to try to fix it.
Yeah.
So it's not going to go anywhere. You're going to lower costs. My plan, I believe in that. Across the state insurance companies. You can sell. You're an insurance company. You get licensed in a state. You sell. All right. But
you don't need to take over the healthcare. The government doesn't need to be involved. You just say, "Hey, portability is allowed," just like it's allowed in your auto insurance. Okay, fine, great, wonderful. But
and that's how you create
have to have government involved in that.
That's how you create competition, lower the costs. We talk about pharmaceuticals. We've talked about on the show. My idea: international competition. Canada and Mexico. Drugs are just as good. I've bought drugs from Mexico and I've bought drugs from Canada. And they work just as good as anything that's here in the United States at about 1/10 of the cost. So let's let the international pharmaceuticals come in and let's let them compete with Pfizer's and some of these other people, some of these monopolies that control all the medication that goes in and out of this country.
Here's the bottom line with this, John. Here's the bottom line with leaving any of Obamacare left to fester, to be alive, is Republican, quote unquote, conservative, whatever. I don't care. If it's allowed to stay alive, as soon as the progressive left gets back in control again, and they will get back in control of government again, it will happen. As soon as they do,
if you leave
it once more, the phoenix will rise from the grave, and you'll see the same crap again. Only this time it'll be much worse because they won't do the same thing they did the last time because they saw what happened, and they will know they're going to have to go ahead and really shove it up your butt to make it work. So they will not, and it will be ugly. It'll be even uglier the next time. So you must get rid of it. Again, as I said, when's the last time you've seen any of these progressive programs repealed? Take a step back. They always hit the pause button. For crying out loud, quit pausing. Let's get rid of it. Send them back to the Stone Age.
Yeah, exactly. You know, and I make the comparisons. I often, in my own mind, compare Obamacare to Social Security because of the aspect that Social Security has become a sacred cow. Everybody's accepted. This is the way it is. Now, I tell you from my own personal example here. I paid into Social Security my years in the workforce, 45 years in the workforce. I paid into Social Security about $27,000. Okay? I'm going to make more than that. I'm going to get more than that back. In fact, I probably have already, by the end of next year, I will have exhausted that, what I actually paid in. So you have to think of Social Security the same way you think of insurance. You pay in. Some people collect it. Some people don't. And you pay in over a course of time, and then when you need it, you get it. Some people live long.
The difference is, John, you are forced to pay into it.
Exactly. Yeah. But I'm just talking strictly numbers right now, just the economic side of this thing. You pay into it. I'll be fortunate enough, I'm hoping, unless I get crushed in an automobile or something. But the point being is that I'll be able to draw more out of Social Security than what I put in. But I can tell you this, with what I know about investments and IRAs and everything else, had that money gone into an IRA or something else over a period of 45 years, I'd be in the top 1% right now, folks. I can guarantee you that. I'd be one of those people that Occupy Wall Street would hate. I'd have a couple $1 million laying around, and I wouldn't need to worry about having health insurance because I could afford it. I wouldn't need worry about a mortgage because I could pay for a house. I wouldn't need to have to worry about how am I going to get to work or how am I going to get down to Walmart or anything else because I would be able to afford a car. Guarantee it. I know it. I know how finances work. Taught it for a number of years. I know compounding interest. I know how it works. $27,000, I'd have $5 or $6 million sitting in the bank right now. Now, there are going to be other people that may live longer than I do. Here's the point. By the time my grandchildren, if they're paying the same amounts into Social Security or just a little bit more, and they end up over a 45-year span of time paying $27,000 into that, what are they going to get out of it? Nothing, because everybody that's alive before them is going to drain it. You can't keep paying out more than you're bringing in. Simple mathematics. That's my point. It's the same thing with Obamacare. You got people paying in. The people that are supposed to be paying the most aren't buying it because they don't think they need it. And then those of us who do need it, they're taking from us to pay for those who can't buy it. You got more money going out than you got coming in. It can't work. It cannot work because you're going to deplete the source, the capital. It isn't going to work. You can't continue to do it this way. When we get back from the break, I want to outline here for you the 5 things that Donald Trump says that he believes health care should have. And this should make your hair stand up on your arms because I'm telling you, and I'm going to say this and I don't take it out the wrong way, if we put blackface on Donald Trump last night, we'd be listening to Barack Obama when it comes to Obamacare. That's my take on this.
If the election would have turned out differently, Hillary Clinton be saying the same thing.
Yeah. Maybe worded a little bit different, but she'd be talking about how, because this is actually, we've heard this from her. Some of these things we've heard from her.
Her voice.
You may not have been able to process it because of the squeaky voice, but she's been saying the same thing. We got to go to break. We'll be right back. Stay with us right here at the Conservative Syndicate.
Red State Talk Radio is now available as a voice command on your Amazon Echo and Echo Dot by simply saying, Alexa, play Red State Talk Radio.
Red State Talk Radio on TuneIn.
You can now find us on the Amazon Echo and Echo Dot, on TuneIn, on iHeartRadio, and we also have the phone apps in the App Store for your particular phone. And just in case we activated your Echo Dot, Alexa, stop.
Red State Talk Radio, WRS Cleveland.
You know, sometimes when you compare prices on products, you think to yourself, what difference does it make? The rates are all about the same anyway. But sometimes the rates are very different. Let me give you an example where there's a huge difference in pricing between companies. Vehicle protection plans. Look, if your car is 4 years or older, having a vehicle protection plan is a no-brainer. The trick is not to overpay for it. Here are the facts. The average price of a vehicle protection plan is $2,800, while the price of a TOCO warranty vehicle protection plan for most vehicles is just $1,500. The average down payment on a vehicle protection plan is $299. With TOCO warranty, there's no down payment. The average monthly payment on a vehicle protection plan is more than $160 a month. With TOCO, the average monthly payment is just $49. To get a highly rated vehicle protection plan at a great low rate, call TOCO Warranty at 1-800-987-1519. That's 1-800-987-1519. Terms and conditions apply.
Are you being audited and do you owe the IRS $10,000 or more in back taxes?